best of their abilities. And we say these things in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Now, if you please all rise and face the flag for the singing of our national anthem, performed by Karen Allred. Thank you. And now for the starting lineup, starting with the visiting Seagulls of Salisbury University. At guard, a senior, number 3, Morgan Grubb. At guard, a senior, number 11, Mary McDonough.
Welcome, everyone, to Southern Virginia University basketball from the Knight Sports Arena. I'm Jim Bresnahan, ready to bring you all the action today of Southern Virginia basketball as the Knights get ready to take on the Salisbury Seagulls. And we'll have the women's game coming up for you first, followed by the men's contest around 3:30 this afternoon. For this women's contest today, as the Knights get ready to introduce their starting lineup today, it's a huge game for the women of Southern Virginia as they try to put themselves in better position to make eventually the Capital Conference postseason tournament. Both these teams, Salisbury and Southern Virginia, coming into this game with a record of 2-5 in the conference. So again, an important game for the Seagulls, an important game for the Knights today as we have the starting lineups being announced for the Knights. Knights are starting a couple of different players. Corey Stout, Brindy Ballum, they'll be starting in the backcourt. Very quick backcourt. Alexis Barnes also being announced as one of the starters today for the Southern Virginia University Knights. And then they'll have the big players up front in Katie Garish and the senior Shelby Butler. So there's your starting 5 for the Knights. Butler and Garish inside along with Alexis Barnes, and outside Brindy Ballum and Corey Stout. We mentioned again, this is going to be a huge game for both these teams in the conference. Both teams coming in 2-5 in the conference. The Knights 8-5 overall in the season. The Seagulls are 7-7 on the season. It's not do or die today, but whoever wins this game will be 3-5 in the conference and firmly in the number 6 spot. Whereas if the Knights were to lose this game, they would then fall behind Salisbury by a game and potentially be also a game behind St. Mary's of Maryland. St. Mary's also 2-5 in the conference. And, of course, it's perhaps even more important game for the Knights today because it is a home game. So the Knights trying to bounce back from recent losses at home to York and Christopher Newport, and they'll try to bounce back in this Saturday afternoon game against the Salisbury Seagulls. The Knights after today will be playing 3 straight games on the road as well. That includes a game coming up on Wednesday at Frostburg, next Saturday at Wesley, and then the following Wednesday at Mary Washington. So 3 straight road games coming up in conference for the Knights over the next week and a half, making this home game today against Salisbury all the more important. Katie Garish is ready to jump center. By the way, my usual webcasting partner, Seth Hansen, not going to be able to make it today. He's down on the court with the Spirit Squad. And the opening tip of this game goes to the Knights. And quickly they go to Garish, and she can't hit inside. Had a good look at it. Nice pass by Corey Stout. Garish coming up a little short on her shot. Now pressure defense by the Knights in the backcourt. The Seagulls get it across the timeline. And it looks like a turnover is called on the Seagulls. And the turnover by Salisbury gives it right back to Southern Virginia. Southern Virginia and CNU had a really up-tempo game on Wednesday. And as a result, CNU had 27 turnovers, but the Knights had 52 turnovers. They're hoping to avoid that kind of a turnover game today. Knights trying to get on the scoreboard first. They throw the ball into the backcourt. It is going to be chased down by Salisbury. They've got some numbers really quick. Seagulls will take a three-point shot from outside. It's no good. The rebound battled for and pulled away by the Knights. Up court come the Knights. It's Barnes, baseline, passing outside to Garish. Now Stout will try a three-pointer. It's up and no good. Long rebound, tipped out of bounds. And let's see who's going to get the basketball. It looks like the Seagulls will have it. So we played a minute almost here in this first quarter, and neither team has been able to get onto the scoreboard just yet. Knights will go with that backcourt pressure, trying to force a lot of Salisbury turnovers today. Seagulls working it around the perimeter, and now we've got a foul call, I believe, outside. Might go against Brindy Ballum. First team foul of the game goes against the Knights, and that'll be Ballum's first foul, non-shooting foul, so the Seagulls would go ahead and take it out of bounds. Still no score in this game. We played over a minute. Icabellis with the ball outside for Salisbury. She goes to Brigham on the left side. Now the pass comes down low and off the hands of Kaylin French trying to make a move to the basket. She commits a turnover instead, and so it'll be Knights basketball. Still no score in this game in the first quarter. Ballum double teamed in the corner. Pass comes inside, knocked away by the Seagulls, picked up by Barnes. At least on one end, the shot clock isn't operating. Off-balance jumper by Barnes is an air ball. Now we've got the shot clock operating as the Knights grab that rebound, not able to score, and now another foul, and another foul on Ballum. That's going to be quickly her second foul, so we played just about 2 minutes. No score in the game, and now Ballum has quickly picked up her second foul, and she'll be replaced by Jamila Gambi, the senior. Each team playing tough defense and struggling on offense. Two team fouls here in this first quarter now for the Knights, both on Brindy Ballum, who picked up her second and comes out of the game, again replaced by Jamila Gambi. Referee's talking things over, maybe in connection with the shot clock. And now we are going to have a little timeout, it looks like, with 8:06 to go. Maybe having problems with the shot clock operating, and perhaps the referees trying to figure out what to do in the interim. We mentioned that the Knights are 2-5 in the conference, as are the Salisbury Seagulls, and along with St. Mary's. All those three teams are bunched up at 2-5. Basically 6, 7, and 8 of the conference. Of course, the top six make the Capital Conference postseason tournament. So, as we mentioned, a huge game today, especially for the Knights hosting. Marymount is 6-0 in the conference. Christopher Newport, York, Mary Washington, they are all 6-1 in the conference. And then from there, it drops all the way down to 3-4, Frostburg, and then 2-5, Southern Virginia, Salisbury, and St. Mary's. Wesley is 1-5, and Penn State Harrisburg yet to win a game in the conference. They're 0-7. Both teams back on the court. Referee is talking it over, perhaps what they're going to do if they cannot get the shot clock consistently operating. It's ready to go now, but we'll see if it stays there. Referees seem to be looking in that direction to see if it's going to stay on. See if the referees are ready to play and see if the shot clock will stay on. I mentioned the Knights will have 3 straight road games coming up after today. That includes a game coming up Wednesday at Frostburg, a team that is a game ahead of them in the conference. Then Wesley, a team that they defeated earlier this season, 82-75 at home, and only a half game behind them in the conference. And then Mary Washington, who again is 6-1 in the conference. So you can see some big road games coming up over the next week and a half in addition to this home game as the Knights try to avoid losing 3 straight at home. They lost last Saturday to York. They lost to CNU this past Wednesday. Knights have a couple of conference wins this year, back in November at Penn State Harrisburg, as well as that Wesley game on Saturday, December the 2nd. And they're 6-0 in non-conference games. University personnel really looking at the shot clock right underneath the basket, trying to figure out how to get the shot clock to stay on. So important, obviously, for the players to avoid the shot clock violation. Know exactly how much time they've got left on the shot clock before they fire up the basketball. Don't forget, after this game today, in this opener of this doubleheader, we'll have the men's contest coming up for you. And just like our game here with the women, it's going to be a huge game for the Southern Virginia University men, who have struggled to get some conference wins recently. They are also 2-5 in the conference. They'll be taking up a Salisbury team, though, that is 5-2 in the conference in our second game today. And right now the Knights are 2 full games behind the top 6 in the men's basketball standings. Southern Virginia is 2-5 in the conference, but they're 2 games behind Frostburg, Mary Washington, and Marymount at 4-3. Then comes Salisbury 5-2, CNU 5-2. York is a perfect 7-0. Last we saw, they were rated number 8 in the country. Continue to work on the shot clock to see if they can get it to stay on consistently. We have played just about 2 minutes in this contest. Neither team has scored just yet. Both teams have struggled in the opening minutes with turnovers. And of course, Brindy Ballum, as we mentioned, has those 2 fouls. I want to remind fans, too, that volleyball is just around the corner. Men's volleyball will be starting up in the next week or so. First men's volleyball home match is coming up on January the 26th, a Friday night home match against Arcadia. So we'll take a little break as they continue to work on the shot clock. 8:06 to go, first quarter. No score. Let's take a break from the Knight Sports Arena. looks like we are ready to go again here from the Knight Sports Arena. Underneath the basket, or right above the basket, apparently the shot clock isn't working, so they're explaining, the referees are, to both captains of both teams how they're going to operate this. I can only assume that the referees will be barking out whenever possible, maybe at the 5 or 10 second mark of a shot clock, just how much is left. Obviously, it doesn't really favor either team. Both teams have to put up with this handicap until they can permanently fix the shot clock above the basket. So we're ready to go again here. Played 2 minutes, no score. Salisbury breaks the pressure, gets it across the timeline, and now the Seagulls will run their offense. Bellis with the ball. Man-to-man by the Knights. Drive. Blocked by the Knights. Good defense by Southern Virginia to block that shot by French of Salisbury. And now the Knights bring it back the other way in a hurry. This is Stout with it. Out front. Goes to Gamby on the left side. Inside to Garish. Dribbles to the basket, and she got tied up and results in a travel. So now we played 2.5 minutes, and neither team has scored yet. Salisbury getting ready to inbounds. Both teams with good defense, both teams struggling here in the opening minutes of the first quarter. And French and Butler collide. French was going for the pass, and Butler will probably, unfortunately, pick up the foul as she came in trying to steal that ball and rammed into French. Really incidental collision, just going for the ball, but she picks up her first foul. That's the team's third. Here's Grubb with a jumper outside. Too strong. Rebound, though, inside, picked up by Kaylin French. She puts it back up and in and is fouled, and she's got a chance at a three-point play, and there's the 14th foul of this first quarter against the Knights. So Kaylin French scores, and the foul goes against Corey Stout. Salisbury gets on the scoreboard first and completes the three-point play. Kaylin French with a three-point play to make it 3-0. Now backcourt pressure stolen away by Grubb of Salisbury. They say jump ball, and the possession arrow will favor the Seagulls, so the Seagulls have the basketball. 3-0, Salisbury on top. Bellis inbounding to McDonough, outside to Grubb. Seagulls working it around the perimeter. Bellis to French. Outside jumper. No good. Too strong. Rebound. Garish. Knights run the break up the right side. It's Stout with it. Passing inside to Butler. And they call her for a travel. So we've played several minutes now. The Knights yet to score a point. Salisbury breaks the pressure. Grubb to McDonough. And now they go back to Grubb for the jumper. She can't hit. Rebound, Butler. Knights will have the ball, only trailing by 3 despite the offensive struggles. This is Barnes with it outside. Now right side to Gamby. Pass inside, knocked out of bounds by French. This is the kind of situation where the referees will maybe remind the players how much time is left on that shot clock. As Gamby inbounds to Butler, and we're going to have the first foul of the game against the Seagulls. It'll be a non-shooting foul. Courtney Brigham, the freshman forward, picking up that foul. Butler gets the inbounds pass. And a blocking foul is going to be called on the Seagulls. Brigham quickly picks up her second foul. And so Brigham, who just picked up her second foul, is out of the game, replaced by Rachel Ryan. Stout inbounding to Garish, to Butler. Fadeaway jumper off balance, no good. Rebound French. French tries to bring it up court, a little out of control. Gets it over to McDonough. Knights will try to pressure that ball in the backcourt each and every time, hoping for some Salisbury turnovers. This is French with a drive. Nice pass inside. Ryan fouled by Garish. And Ryan will go to the foul line. Garish picks up her first foul. Rachel Ryan, sophomore center, 6'1". And she'll go to the foul line to shoot 2. That was the 15th foul on the Knights. Here in this first quarter, Seagulls have just 2 team fouls. And Ryan's first foul shot is good. 4-0 Seagulls. They're not exactly lighting it up. They've scored 4 points in just a little over 4 minutes, but the Knights have yet to score in this first quarter. And Ryan makes it a 5-point Salisbury lead. Now backcourt pressure by Salisbury. Pass up court, stolen away. Turnover on the Knights. Seagulls come right back the other way. Pass inside, shot up and good. Gambi picks up the foul. Ryan, the 6'1" sophomore, scores again, 7-0. Abby Olsen is also out there right now for the Knights. Rebound, offensive rebound for Salisbury. This is Grubb with it, passing inside to French. French driving, shooting, and scoring. 9-0 Seagulls. And suddenly Salisbury is starting to rack up some points. Knights still looking for their first points of the first quarter. Pass inside to Garish. They go over to Gambi. Now Barnes will try a long 3. It's good. Alexis Barnes hitting a 3, and they really needed that one. 9-3 now. Backcourt pressure. French works it up court. French spinning, shooting off the glass, no good. Left it a little too strong on the layup attempt. And now the Knights will come back down by 6. It's Olsen in the right corner, driving, shooting, and no good. Rebound. Garish, her stick back too strong. Salisbury grabbing the rebound. Ryan, the 6'1" center, has no one to pass to. Stolen by Gambi. She gets it over to Olsen for the jumper, too strong. Garish saving, and it saves it to Barnes. Stout down the lane, driving, shooting, and missed the layup attempt. And the rebound to Salisbury. And back comes Grubb the other way. Grubb passing to Ryan. Outside to McDonough for the jump shot outside, and she hits the 3-pointer. Mary McDonough, the 5'5" senior out of Long Beach, New York, makes it 12-3 Seagulls. Knights trying to go back onto the offensive end, trying to get more besides that Alexis Barnes 3-point shot. Olsen is bumped. Foul on the Seagulls. Just the 3rd team foul, so it'll be a non-shooting foul. And a timeout looks like it's going to be taken here by Southern Virginia. Knights want to talk it over, trying to figure out a way to get their offense going. Outside of an Alexis Barnes 3-point shot, they've not been able to hit. And they've got the 1 3-pointer. But Salisbury has a 12-3 lead here with 3:56 to go in the first quarter. Knights have struggled with turnovers so far in this first period. Of course, they had 52 turnovers against Christopher Newport on Wednesday. They came in averaging more or less roughly 22 turnovers a game, and I know that when they've been successful this year, it's usually when they've got the turnovers under 20. So the Knights will try to shake off these scoring problems they've had in the first quarter. And trying to stay in this game right now despite the offensive problems. Trailing by 9. A couple of substitutions in the game for the Seagulls too, as they bring in Paige Bryce, number 22. Number 34, a junior, April Preller, is also into the game. And Amber Onyekweri, number 12, is into the game. Scramble for a loose ball, picked up by the Seagulls. And a steal by Gambi, loses control of the ball. It's on the floor, rolling around. And looks like we may have a foul called against the Seagulls. Good scrambling defense there by Gamby and by Olson. And they called the third team foul on Salisbury. Onyekwere picking it up. So the Knights have the ball. Pass inside to Garish, outside to Olson. Shot up and no good. Garish with the rebound, too strong on the follow shot. Ryan picks it up, throws it out of bounds. It's going to be Knights basketball. That's a couple of times now that Ryan, the 6'1" sophomore, has pulled out a rebound and has not been able to get the ball to a teammate. So the turnover by the Seagulls gives it right back to Southern Virginia. They've got just one three-pointer in this first quarter, and yet only trailing by 9. Pass comes inside to Garish. Hook shot too strong. Garish really strong on a lot of her shots in this first quarter. Salisbury running the break. Pass comes over on the right side. It's almost taken away. The Seagulls maintaining control of the basketball, though. Onyekwere goes to Koenig. Step back jumper, no good. Rebound Barnes. Good strong rebound by Alexis Barnes. Up court, knocked away. Steal by Salisbury. Another turnover for the Knights. Onyekwere driving up court in a hurry. And she'll fire the jumper and hit. 14-3 Salisbury. Knights trying to get their offense going. Just the one three-pointer in this first quarter by Barnes. Gamby on the left side with a jumper. Too strong. Rebound, Salisbury. Fast break for the Seagulls. Onyekwere, back, pass up, and it is no good, but there's Ryan for the easy layup after the missed shot by Preller, and I think we're going to have another timeout by the Knights, who now trail 16-3 with 2:14 to go here in this first quarter. Just one three-pointer so far by Alexis Barnes. And not much else going offensively for the Knights. Garish has had a couple of good looks down low, but has been too strong on a lot of her shots. Knights have had problems with turnovers. It's been the turnovers and the shooting percentage that has really resulted in Salisbury jumping out to a 16-3 lead. Remember, Salisbury struggled themselves in the opening 3 or 4 minutes, really struggling to get points on the board. So we'll see if the Knights can get things going here as we get closer and closer to the end of this first quarter. Gamby's got it outside. Barnes passing inside to Butler. Butler shoots off the side of the backboard. Nicole Muse is into the game. Stout driving, off balance jumper, and she hits it. Stout with a big basket there. Backcourt pressure by the Knights. And a steal by Southern Virginia. Gamby open the other way for a layup, and she scores. 16-7. Salisbury breaks the pressure this time. And now they'll run their offense with 1:25 to go. 16-3 lead by Salisbury. Suddenly is down to 9 at 16-7. Pass down low to Ryan. Ryan shooting too strong against Butler. Good defense by Shelby Butler. This is Muse with it up the right side. Barnes. Spinning move, and oh, that one rimmed out. Tough miss there for Alexis Barnes. And Ryan is called for a travel. Looks like, let's see, she scrambled as she went up court, moved her feet. Unless they called a foul. Looks like they called a foul instead and called a foul on Nicole Muse. That must have occurred before Ryan walked with the basketball. Preller, the junior guard out of Pasadena, Maryland, will go to the foul line. So Muse picking up her first foul. And the first foul shot is up and good. Salisbury now takes a 10-point lead. Ballum, who picked up 2 early fouls, back into the game, replacing Stout. Ballum's out there along with Gamby, Muse, Butler, and Garish. Both foul shots were made. It's 18-7 Salisbury. Their biggest lead in this first quarter has been 13 points. Davina Julian, a 5'6" sophomore guard for Salisbury, is into the game for the first time. This is Nicole Muse up the left side with 48 seconds to go in the quarter. And a foul on Julian, who just came into the game. 14 fouls, so not yet a shooting foul for the Knights. With just 44 seconds left in the quarter, the Knights trailing here, 18-7. Gamby gets it in, pass inside to Butler. Butler gets free and scores. Backcourt pressure by the Knights, trying to work and create a turnover. Up court, this is McDonough. She drops it off to a teammate. Outside jumper, up, no good. Rebound, battled for, picked up by Ryan, knocked away by Garish. 18-9. Back come the Knights with 16 seconds to go. Ballum off to Muse. Inside. Garish. Outside Gamby. 7 seconds to go in the quarter. Pass to Butler. Now to Gamby. Down low Garish. Knocked away by Salisbury, and the Knights will not get a shot off. So a tough quarter by the Knights offensively. They really struggled with their offense, and yet they're only down by 9 as we start second quarter play. It is 18-9 right now. Salisbury on top of Southern Virginia. Knights were able to really force some turnovers and get some points off turnovers. They trailed at one point 16-3. They were able to cut it to 16-7. Get it down to a 9-point ball game, which is exactly where we are as we'll get ready here in a few seconds to start the second quarter. Knights hoping for a better second quarter offensively. They are trying to get back into this game. An all-important game for both teams. But again, both teams are 2-5 in the Capital Athletic Conference. And right now, both teams are tied with each other, and St. Mary's at 2-5. Top 6 make the Capital Conference postseason tournament. And right now, Southern Virginia, Salisbury, and St. Mary's are all tied for 6th. Obviously, the entire second half of the conference schedule still to come. But you can see where if the Knights were to lose this game at home to Salisbury, they would really have, I think, 4 remaining home games in the conference, and the rest would be on the road, so they would really need to pick up some road wins down the stretch, perhaps to make the Capital Conference Athletic Tournament. Ready to go, second quarter play. Knights with the ball to start the second quarter, down by 9. This is Gamby with it, passing inside to Garish. Barnes thought about taking the outside jumper. She goes to Gamby, and she's called for a travel. Another turnover for Southern Virginia. It is going to be Seagulls basketball. Salisbury won on Wednesday to get their second conference win. The Knights were losing to Christopher Newport. Seagulls bring it up court in a hurry. This is French. Nice move. Got past Garish, and she scores and is fouled. Now they're going to call that foul instead. It looks like on Barnes. Did not make the basket, but will get 2 foul shots. French had a nice move to get away from Garish, but Barnes coming in from the other side fouled her, and French hits both foul shots to make it 20-9. French came in averaging 9 points a game. Backcourt pressure. Stout trying to work it up court. Gets it over to Gamby. Gamby on a layup attempt. Off balance. No good. Rebound French. Knocked out of bounds. And it's going to be Salisbury basketball with 9:20 to go here in the second quarter. 11-point lead for the Seagulls. Their biggest lead so far in the first half was 16-3, a 13-point lead. The absence of the shot clock really hadn't been a factor just yet. And there's a turnover by the Seagulls. They throw it out of bounds. Seagulls have had their own problems with turnovers here in this first half. Otherwise, their 11-point lead could easily be 15 or 16. Knights trying to avoid another turnover and get on the scoreboard. Down by 11. Gamby passing over the head of Butler out of bounds on another turnover. Substitution coming in for the Knights will be Muse replacing Gamby. So you got Muse out there along with Stout, and Alexis Barnes, and the two big inside players, and Katie Garish and Shelby Butler. Salisbury breaks the pressure without a turnover. Now they set up their offense. McDonough drops off the pass to Bryce. Outside jumper by French is no good. Rebound Katie Garish, and now the Knights will go to work. Stout with it outside to Butler. Muse will try a long three. It's up and no good. Rebound tipped out, comes to Grubb of the Salisbury Seagulls. To Icabellis with a jumper. It's an air ball, but the rebound pulled down by the Seagulls. McDonough passing inside. And a foul may be called on Shelby Butler. If so, that's her second. She picks up foul number 2. That's 2 team fouls here in the second quarter on the Knights. No team fouls just yet for Salisbury. Jumper by McDonough, good. And the Seagulls have that 13-point lead back at 22-9. Stout passing inside, knocked away. Muse picks up the loose ball. Garish down low, pass taken away. Garish was trying to hit Butler, but Paige Bryce right there to steal it. Pass comes inside, knocked away by Garish. As Angel Tui-Severa will check into the game, her first appearance for the Knights today. She was CAC All-Academic Team last year, played just over 11 minutes per game last year. Jumper outside, up, and it rims out by Julian, but there's French with the offensive rebound. And they call a foul on the Knights inside. Corey Stout just picked up her second. That's the third team foul on Southern Virginia. Inbounds pass, too strong on the shot. Rebound comes to the Seagulls, and McDonough hits a three-pointer from outside to make it 25-9. Mary McDonough came in averaging 5.5 points a game, hits a big three-pointer there. Barnes driving along the baseline. And it looks like she stepped out of bounds. So another turnover for the Knights, who now trail 25-9. Knights with that backcourt pressure, trying to force a turnover. Seagulls work it up court in a hurry to French. Anya Quer over to French. Jumper, no good, too strong. Barnes with a rebound and a foul. Going to be called on Paige Bryce of the Seagulls. The Knights trailing here by 16 points. Trying to get back into this game in the second quarter. Don't want to be down by this much at halftime, and we still have 6:58 to go here in the second period. Lawrence outside. Now it's Stout. Gives up the dribble, down low to Garish, double team. Lost it, and it was last touched by the Seagulls, so it's still Knights basketball with 6:44 to go till halftime. Tui-Severa inbounding to Garish, knocked away by French. Last touch by the Seagulls, so it's still Knights basketball. Jalen French been an impressive player for the Seagulls here in this first half, 5'9" junior forward. Pass comes outside to Garish. Garish passing down low, stolen away by the Seagulls. A drive taken away by Tui Severa with the good steal there. It is Stout with it now. Back to Tui Severa. They look inside for Garish. Stout passes up to Garish and threw it right to a player from the Seagulls. Paige Bryce with it. Now the Seagulls will work their offense. This is French. She double dribbled. And the turnover will give it right back to the Knights. Both teams struggling with turnovers in this first half, as French will come out of the game. 5 on the floor right now for the Knights. Alexis Barnes, Tui Severa, Corey Stout, Nicole Muse, and Katie Garish inside. Garish gets the pass outside to Muse for a three-pointer, up and no good. A big miss there. She had a good look at a three-pointer. Seagulls come breaking the other way. Pass comes inside, knocked away by Muse. And now a three-pointer by the Seagulls is too strong, and the rebound comes to Corey Stout. Stout almost losing the ball outside. Passing down low to Garish. She gets free, too strong again with the shot. Had a good look, and she has just been too strong apparently on all of her shots in this first half. Seagulls breaking the other way for a fast break layup attempt. No good by the Seagulls. It's on the floor. It is picked up by Salisbury, and they'll reset their offense. Seagulls have really struggled on offense in this first half too, but they've got the lead. Outside jumper by Bryce, no good. And the rebound comes to Garish. Knights will have some substitutions at the next dead ball as Tui Severa drives to the lane, and she is fouled. We'll see if they call that a shooting foul or if it was before she actually took the shot. And it looks like they're going to call the charge now on Tui Severa. It looked like they had called a defensive foul, but they're going to call that instead an offensive charge on Tui Severa. That'll be her first foul. That is the 14th foul of the Knights. Substitutions back into the game. Ballum is in there, Abby Olson. Tui Severa is going to stay out there. Butler and Gamby are back onto the floor. 25-9. Knights trying to get some turnovers with this backcourt pressure, down by 16. Seagulls break the pressure. Jump shot, no good. Rebound, Bryce, no good on the follow attempt. It's on the floor. Battled for, Ballum's got it. So the Seagulls missing again inside. And there's a steal. Ballum lost control of the ball. And the jump ball, possession arrow, looks like it's going to favor the Seagulls. Are going to get it with 4:34 to go. Knights, I do not believe, have scored so far in the second quarter. They were down 18-9, I believe, as we started the second period. They get a pass down low to Paige Bryce. She scores to make it 27-9. So by my count, it is 9-0 in the second period. Salisbury on top, and now we've got a foul outside called on Anya Query of the Seagulls with 4:19 to go. Non-shooting foul, just the second team foul on the Seagulls. Knights have struggled with turnovers and some tough shooting percentages throughout this first half, and they now trail by 18 points, and there's another turnover. Olsen passing the ball off the fingertips of Tui Severa. Turnovers really mounting for the Knights here in this first half as they try to hang in there despite all the problems offensively. Trailing by 18 points now. Seagulls have had their problems with some poor shooting and some turnovers, but they have the 18-point lead. And now Bryce works her way in, gets free, and scores. And now the lead is 29-9 with 3:55 to go here in the second quarter. And Gamby is fouled. That's the third team foul on the Seagulls. A non-shooting foul again, so the Knights will take it out of bounds. 3:54 to go here in this second quarter. 29-9 your score. Knights still looking for their first points of the second period. It is Butler, and she Gets it outside to Olsen, driving, shooting, and couldn't hit it. Just left that shot a little short. Seagulls trying to work it up court. They do, down low. Pass comes. Jump shot from outside is up and no good, but another offensive rebound by Ryan. The 6'1" sophomore grabbing the rebound, and she is fouled inside. That's going to send Ryan back to the foul line after the foul was called on Shelby Butler, and suddenly she's got 3 fouls. First foul shot. Missed it badly. Well short of the basket. One more coming for the sophomore. So Butler just picked up her 3rd foul. Second one is no good. Rebound Knights, 29-9 with 3:25 to go here until halftime. Knights down by 20. Butler just picked up her 3rd foul. Barnes driving, gets it off to Garish. Shot partially deflected, no good. And the rebound to the Seagulls. Up court comes Salisbury. Trying to work it up court is McDonough. Knocked away from behind by Gamby. Tries to hit it to a teammate. Gets it over to Garish. Olsen comes back the other way with it. Olsen trying to go coast to coast. Gets it over to Barnes for the outside jumper. And she hits her second 3-pointer of the first half to make it 29-12. 17-point lead still for the Seagulls. And now Salisbury will try to get it down low. Now they work it back outside. Step back jumper up and no good. There's a rebound though by Paige Bryce, and she'll shoot the jumper, and it's air ball. Rebound comes off to Garish. Knights will try to build upon that Barnes 3-pointer. Garish with it outside to Gamby. Gamby lost control of the ball. Passes to Olsen. Shot up and no good. It rimmed out. And the rebound to Ryan. Now the Seagulls have a 3-on-1 break the other way. Foul line jumper up and good. Megan Koenig, junior guard from Ellicott City, Maryland, making that basket. Gamby the other way, out of control, missing the shot. Rebound, Ryan. Knocked out of bounds. Gamby last to touch it. And so with 1:53 to go until halftime, 31-12, Knights down by 19 here in the first half, and the Seagulls with the lead and the ball. Knights continue with that backcourt pressure, trying to force some turnovers, trying to find a way to get back in this game. Gamby with the steal over to Ballum, and she is hammered by McDonough. So Brindy Ballum will go to the foul line to shoot 2. Good steal by Jamila Gamby. And with 1:46 to go, Ballum's got a chance to score from the foul line. Knights have 3 points now here in the second period. First foul shot by Ballum, no good. One more shot coming. Knights have 5 team fouls and 4 team fouls now by the Seagulls. So Ballum hits 1 out of 2. 31-13, 18-point lead. And Ballum trying to grab that inbounds pass is going to be called for her 3rd foul. So Butler's got 3 fouls, and now Ballum's got 3 fouls. Looks like Muse will replace Ballum. And with each of those players with 3 fouls now, that might limit their playing time in the second half for Butler and for Ballum, as the first foul shot by McDonough is up and good. So you have Stout on the floor now, along with Gamby and Muse and Garish and Barnes, and the foul shot by McDonough is good to make it 33-13. Stout trying to pass up court to Garish. They work it over to Muse. Down to 90 seconds to go. Garish scores inside. I think that's her first basket. She has really struggled on offense, but she was able to get that one to go down and make it 33-15. Seagulls break the pressure, and the ball's knocked away. Good defense by Gamby to force the turnover. Out of bounds, last touch by the Seagulls. It's Knights basketball. They're down by 18 with 1:18 to go here in the first half. Stout down low to Garish. Garish now back out on top to Stout. And that pass by Gamby too strong for Garish. Turnover by Southern Virginia. Steal by Muse, had it momentarily. Seagulls still have the basketball. 54 seconds to go till halftime. Bryce with it. Outside jumper, up, no good. Rebound comes to Paige Bryce, and they're going to call a foul on the Knights. And Katie Garish is going to pick up her second. So Paige Bryce will go to the foul line. Senior forward. Her first foul shot is good. 34-15. Bryce, 5'9" forward. Hit the first foul shot, got them both. 35-15. 20-point lead for the Seagulls, and a steal by Salisbury. This is Grubb outside McDonough. 3 on the way, good. Suddenly it's 38-15. 23-point lead for Salisbury, with just 27 seconds to go here until halftime. Gamby will try to drive for the layup. It's off the glass and good, and Jamila Gamby has her first basket. 38-17. See if the Seagulls play for the last shot with 10 seconds to go till halftime. This is McDonough, down to 5 seconds to go. Bryce will shoot the long jumper. It's an air ball, and that will do it for the first half. Knights struggling on offense, struggling with turnovers, and as a result, they go into the locker room down by 21 points at halftime. All Seagulls right now here at halftime, thanks to the poor shooting by the Knights and especially the turnovers. Salisbury really had a hard time getting their offense going, but they were able to finally overcome some of their turnovers. They took an 18-9 lead at the end of one quarter, and they lead here at halftime. It is 38-17. Salisbury on top of Southern Virginia. We'll take a break here from the Knight Sports Arena.
Thank you, Colin, and go Knights.
Welcome back to the Night Sports Arena. Jim Bresnahan now joined by Nash Jones, ready to bring you second half action in just a couple seconds here with the Knights trailing Salisbury at halftime. It is 38-17. Both teams kind of struggled on offense, Nash, as the Seagulls were 12 of 39 from the floor, hitting about 31%, but the Knights were just 7 of 28 for 25%. They also had 17 turnovers in that first half. They were able to get 4 steals, but Salisbury on the other end had 11 turnovers, but they also had 11 steals.
Yeah, Salisbury really figuring it out in the first half. Southern Virginia not being able to get their passes connect. As we saw, that Salisbury had 23 points just off turnovers. Really kind of taking advantage of those.
Really, the Knights could never get anybody going offensively. Alexis Barnes had a couple of three-pointers, and the Knights were 2 out of 5 shooting three-pointers in that first half, and she had both three-pointers, and she had 6 points to lead the Knights. But Katie Garish, 1 out of 7 from the floor, and of course also another key stat was Shelby Butler had just 2 points in 9 minutes, and also Brindy Ballum, another starter today, had just 1 point in 6 minutes, and both Ballum and Butler, they've got 3 fouls, so you wonder how much playing time, especially if they pick up a 4th foul, they might have here in the second half.
Yeah, the Knights really needing to look to use Shelby as one of their key players. She leads the team with 17.4 points per game. Really kind of the spark of this team. She really needs to get going here the second half. The Knights want to bring this lead, or cut this lead back down shorter.
The Knights actually trailed at the end of one quarter 18-9, and they really struggled to score points in that second period. It took well over, 4 or 5 minutes into the second quarter before they actually got their first points in the second quarter. And right now, down by 21. The only question, I guess, coming out in the third quarter is, can the Knights get back in this game? Can they force some turnovers, and can they cut down on their own turnovers? So the Knights will come back on the floor with Stout, also Brindy Ballum, who's got those 3 fouls. Gamby will also get the start, along with Alexis Barnes and Katie Garish. So Butler, who's got 3 fouls, is not out there, and Ballum, who's got 3 fouls, is out there, and you hope that she doesn't pick up foul number 4. As the Knights start the third quarter with the basketball, there's a kick, so it's still Knights basketball. They've got the, above the backboard, they've got the shot clock working. That helps the players a little bit more now. Inbounds pass to Barnes. Now Barnes will fire a 3, and it's no good. Rebound, knocked on the floor, picked up by Grubb, and she gets it off to a teammate, McDonough. She runs the break, goes over to French on the right side. French driving her way in. Off-balance jump shot is good to make it 40-17. So the first 2 points of the third quarter goes to Salisbury.
Yeah, that was kind of a good play there by Salisbury. Getting on the Knights. A good play there by Gamby.
She gets 2 to make it 40-19. And that pass up court is knocked out of bounds by Stout. Well, the Knights, if they want to win this basketball game, you would think by the fourth quarter they would love to have that deficit down to around 9 or 10 points. So there's plenty of time on the clock, Nash. It's just a matter of whether they can make the run. And Grubb with the offensive rebound after the French missed jump shot. French down low against Barnes. Reverse layup is good. Kaylin French, who sat a bunch of minutes in that second quarter, able to get the basket. Back the other way comes the Knights, and there's a 3-pointer by Brindy Ballum.
Yeah, Salisbury kind of just leaving her open in the corner. Ballum was just wide open, took advantage of her shot.
Micah Bellis with the ball outside. Gets it over to McDonough. 42-22. The Knights now trail by 20. French, mismatch here against Stout. French works her way in, runs into Gamby. The ball came loose. No call. Jump shot by French is no good. Rebound to Barnes. And Barnes gets it up court to Gamby, driving all the way, shoots, and couldn't get the shot to go. Battle for the ball out of bounds. And it is going to be last touched apparently by the Knights. And Jamila Gamby had a good strong move at the basket, just couldn't get the roll. Five on the floor right now for the Knights. Muse, Ballum, Stout, Gamby, and Garish. French goes to Icabellis. And McDonough with it. She'll fire that jump shot, and it is up and no good. French trying to grab the rebound. It's out of bounds. They're going to say it went off Stout last, so it's going to be Salisbury basketball.
Yeah, it looks like Stout kind of got caught up in there with Jesse Icabellis.
And French scores again, getting by Gamby. Caitlin French has come out on fire for Salisbury here in the third quarter. It's 44-22. Garish with a jump shot, left it short. And the rebound to French. French trying to avoid that defensive pressure by the Knights. French tries to go all the way with the layup, and she scores again.
That seems to be her fourth basket in a row.
Yeah, at halftime, she had 7 points. Missed by the Knights, rebound offensively by Southern Virginia. Of course, when you're down as much as the Knights are right now, you can't just go back and forth, give a basket, get a basket. The Knights really have to have a run here of maybe 7 or 8 points in a row to try to climb back into this game down by 24. Pass to Garish, back to Gamby, baseline jumper is good, and she is fouled, and Gamby's got a chance at a three-point play.
That was a great play there by the Knights. Gamby getting the inbound pass, passing it into Garish. Garish just gets it right back, right down there on the baseline.
Gamby had 4 at halftime. I believe that's her second basket here in the third quarter, so she's got 8 points for the game. And her foul shot is up and good.
Good little three-point play there for the Knights.
Puts the Knights within 21 points. So the Knights trail here 46-25. They called a foul on Stout. That will be her third. So Stout's got 3 fouls. Ballum's got 3. Butler, who's not in the game right now, has got 3. Almost a steal by Gamby. McDonough's got it now. McDonough works it down low to Ryan. Back to McDonough. Fakes the jumper. Passes over. Icabellis will try a three-pointer. It's up and no good, and the rebound to Alexis Barnes.
Defense really putting some great pressure there on Salisbury.
Pass inside, picked off by French. French and Stout battle for the ball, and it comes away to Salisbury. McDonough over to the right side to Grubb, and she scores on the layup. 48-25. And now the lead is 23. Stout with the ball outside. Ball is knocked out of bounds. It's going to be Knights basketball with 20 on the shot clock. As Abby Olson will check into the game for the Knights. So you got Ballum and Gamby out there along with Olson, Garish, and Alexis Barnes. Gamby trapped in the corner. And they're going to say she stepped out of bounds. She thought she got fouled. And the turnover will give the ball back to Salisbury.
Knights fans really upset with that call. I think Coach Roberts also pretty upset with that. That looked to be a kind of a quick little double team.
And McDonough's got it outside right now for the Seagulls, who are working the shot clock and working the game clock here in the third quarter. French works by Barnes, spin move, double team, ball pops loose, 5 on the shot clock, and the Knights come away with the basketball. Olson trying to go all the way for the layup, and she scores.
Abby Olson going coast to coast right there for the Knights.
She is really a playmaker.
I think that's her first basket of the game here.
48-27. Grubb with a jumper, and she got a wide open look and hits it.
Yeah, as you said earlier, Knights can't really go back and forth here with Salisbury if they're trying to cut this lead down.
50-27. Barnes with it outside. He's got a couple of threes today. Gamby's pass knocked away. But we have a foul call inside against Salisbury. Just a second team foul on the Seagulls.
Foul against the Seagulls, number 30, Rachel Ryan.
Ryan will pick up that foul. No, they decided not to call it on Ryan of Salisbury. Apparently they called it on Garish of Southern Virginia. That's her third foul. A lot of players, key players for the Knights, now have 3 fouls here in the third quarter. And just as importantly, Nash, obviously the ball went to Salisbury, not Southern Virginia. This is McDonough with it. Foul called inside. And it looks like it's going to go against the Knights again. This one on Olsen. And that's the third team foul on the Knights. Substitution coming in for Salisbury. Koenig comes back into the game. 4:34 to go, 50-27. Knights still down by a bunch, 23 points. Koenig gets the inbounds pass, fires the jumper, left it short. Barnes pulls down the rebound.
See some better defense there for the Knights. Making sure that every single player on the court was guarded.
This is Olsen, baseline, off to Garish, and she could not get the shot to go. It's tipped out of bounds, last touch by the Seagulls. Tough day for Katie Garish. Usually a very strong player and very reliable with the shooting percentages inside, but she's been too strong on a lot of her shots today. Inbounds pass to Barnes. Olsen will try the 3. Up and no good. And breaking the other way is Grubb. They didn't see her. Salisbury trying to work it across the timeline. They do. Grubb underneath the basket. Somehow got the shot to go to make it 52-27. Now the lead is 25 for the Seagulls.
The Knights coming down the court, putting on that full court pressure, kind of get girls running back and forth across the court. Salisbury just able to find those holes inside their defense, be able to get it down low and just get those easy layups.
And after the ball went out of bounds, the Knights have the ball with 20 on the shot clock. Olsen fouled outside. It'll go against Grubb. 52-27 is your score. It was 38-17 at halftime. Knights have scored 10 points here in the third quarter, but they've also given up 14. Pass down low. Outside the pass comes to Olsen. Now Barnes with it. Barnes will drive down the lane, shoots and scores. Alexis Barnes, a good, powerful move there.
Knights really taking advantage of that ball movement. As you can see, they were going back and forth with their passing. Able to find a little hole.
Grubb blocked by Garish. Good block by Katie Garish to block Grubb's layup attempt. 52-29. Knights trailing by 23. Inbounds pass to Grubb, open for the jumper. Couldn't get the shot to go. Rebound Ballum. Knights down by 23 with the ball. Hughes will try the three-pointer. Up and no good. Ryan grabs the rebound. And breaking the other way is Bryce for an easy layup, and she scores. As the Knights did not get back defensively, they're really trying to force those turnovers, Nash, and when they don't get those turnovers, usually it's one or two players for Salisbury back the other way on an easy, fast break. Three-pointer up and good by Brindy Ballum.
Salisbury just not seeing Ballum over there in the corner again as she hits another 3 for the Knights.
54-32. Outside jumper up and good. That time by Megan Koenig, the junior guard, and again she was wide open around the perimeter. 56-32. So the Knights offense has really picked it up here in the third quarter, Nash, but as we say, you just can't trade point for point when you're down by this much as Ballum scores inside.
Ballum taking advantage of that Euro step right there. That's a
steal.
And they get the steal.
Olsen, 56-36.
So this is what we like to see right now is the Knights putting a lot of pressure here on Salisbury's offense, getting those turnovers, getting the points off turnovers. That's going to really help cut that lead down.
This is Grubb open on the right side, and she scores to make it 58-36. Knights come right back with 90 seconds to go in the quarter. Olsen will fire a jumper and hits. 58-39, so the Knights have shaved that deficit down to 19 points.
Knights really needing to look to take advantage of this hot streak going on right now. Taking advantage of this momentum, hopefully.
And back the other way, missing on a three, but there's a rebound by Ryan. Couldn't get the shot to go. Garish with the rebound. Here come the Knights down by 19, trying to close a little bit before the end of the third quarter. Barnes driving, shooting, and scores. 58-41. Knights have trailed by well over 20 points on several occasions, but now they've got the lead down to 17 points. Ryan with a jumper from the baseline, no good. Rebound, Bryce, tied up by Ballum. Ball comes outside of McDonough, and she hits the jumper. Boy, they really let him play on that play down.
Knights really looking to double team some of the Salisbury players, but which leaves open a lot of them down low. Garish kind of had to hold her own down there against 1-on-3, looked like.
So the foul is called on Salisbury, on Grubb. That's going to be a 14th foul on the Seagulls. Substitutions for the Knights. Suava's into the game for the first time today. Tui Severa also back out there along with Stout, Gamby, and Butler, who's got 3 fouls, is back onto the floor. 22 seconds to go in the quarter. Knights trail 60-41. Butler out to Tui Severa. Couldn't get the shot to go. Got her own rebound, though. Gamby over to Suava, and now it's going to be Tui Severa trying to get it down low to Butler, and she's blocked from behind with 3 seconds to go. And a steal. The Knights cannot get the shot off, though, at the buzzer, and so we'll go into the fourth quarter with your score: Salisbury 60 and Southern Virginia 41. Very even third quarter as the Knights gave up 22 points and scored 24, so they actually outscored Salisbury in that third quarter. And at one point they were down 23 or 24 points, and they were able to get that lead down to 19 points. But it's going to take really a big miracle comeback, Nash, here in the fourth quarter to come from 19 points down in just 10 minutes.
Southern Virginia really figured it out, though. It looked like that quarter on offense. Doing a really good job of finding the holes in Salisbury's defense. You know, getting a lot of shots out on the perimeter. I think if they really want to cut this lead down this quarter, they're going to have to focus on Kaylin French, who she went off probably for five baskets in a row.
Interesting, every time she heats up and gets maybe 3 or 4 baskets, they take her out of the game and sit her for a number of minutes. Interesting. I know they like to obviously bring in a lot of players and get everybody a lot of playing time. The Knights, by the way, had 9 points in the first quarter, 8 points in the second quarter, but in that third quarter, they scored 24.
See, that was the type of quarter that you'd like to see in every single quarter of play, and not just in the third quarter. Hopefully they can cut this lead down.
And the Seagulls will start the fourth quarter with the basketball. Knights really need a lot of turnovers in this fourth quarter if they're going to make the comeback. The Seagulls, obviously, they're looking to run as much clock, I would imagine, every time down. And there's a big three-point shot outside by the sophomore guard, Julian, to make it 63-41. The Knights have to take a lot of chances, Nash, and of course that's going to result in either layups for Salisbury or a lot of open players getting open jump shots.
Yeah, we don't want to see plays like that. Just kind of a bad pass down at the feet of Butler.
So the turnover for Southern Virginia, and that's of course another thing, as you mentioned. Right now you're down by 22. You really can't afford any turnovers in the fourth quarter. Seagulls break it across the timeline. They're going to take another three-pointer. That one's no good. Battle for the rebound. It is picked up by the Seagulls. No good. Butler finally comes away with the rebound for the Knights.
Butler with her third rebound here in the game.
Outside jumper, no good. Rebound to Salisbury. Foul called inside. It's going to go against the Knights. Well, the Knights played much better, as you mentioned, offensively, Nash, in that third quarter. But they really dug themselves into a hole in that first half, trailing by 21. And the Seagulls were able to score 22 points in that third quarter as well. The Knights desperate for some turnovers. And as a result, they're going to leave some players open. And now the Seagulls, I would imagine, whenever possible, they'll work the clock. It is French, spin move, off the glass, no good. Rebound Knights, down by 22. Stout inside, trying to get to Butler. Ball knocked away. Battle for the loose ball. And the foul looks like it's going to be called on the Seagulls.
Knights really needing to look to take care of the ball more, as we said earlier. Can't really have turnovers here in the fourth quarter if you're trying to cut this lead down.
Barnes has it outside to Olsen. Passes knocked away, out of bounds. 17 on the shot clock. Knights basketball. 8:25 to go in the game. Barnes will drive and lost control of the ball. She thought she got fouled. Ball rolls off. Touched last by Barnes. No foul call. Turnover instead of the Knights. Barnes really thought she got pushed from behind. And up court. Under query. Lost the ball. They called a foul on Gamby, though. That's her second.
Looks like Mary McDonough checks back into the game for Salisbury.
She's been one of the solid players out there, along with French, number 33. And French has it. Doesn't take the jump shot. Lost the ball on the floor, picked up by the Knights. Garish has it. And we're under 8 minutes to go. Stout driving, went through a triple team, hoping to draw a foul call. I don't believe there was a foul call. The ball rolled out of bounds. And the Seagulls are going to get the basketball. I'm sure Stout went through that triple team, Nash, hoping to get a call of a foul, and there was no foul call, even though there was some contact.
Yeah, that's just what I was thinking too, is, trying to drive through a triple team, kind of just throwing the ball up, trying to get a shot off, trying to draw that foul so you can get the free throw line, but not enough contact there to draw the foul.
Knights trying to get the turnover, unable to do so until Ballum takes the ball away. Ballum to Olsen. Knights work it up to Muse. Pass knocked away on the floor, picked up by French. Turnover for Southern Virginia. Breakaway for Julian the other way. She'll go for the layup and couldn't get the shot to go. Ball's tipped over the back by Ryan. And I believe that's going to be a foul call on the Seagulls. And so the Knights will have the basketball, 7:20 to go. And now the only question in Nash is there enough time for the Knights to make this comeback down by 22?
I think the real thing is right now is just kind of playing some like learning basketball. Just, you're down by a lot, not a whole lot of time left. Kind of just trying to figure out. This is more kind of like a practice quarter. Like you take this, you're playing it still like a game, but you just kind of use it more as like a learning experience.
And this is Barnes outside to Muse. I don't think she was ready for the pass. I think she thought Barnes was going to take it toward the basket.
And that's probably what Barnes should have done, was taking it up and tried to draw a foul there for the Knights, but
backcourt pressure by Southern Virginia, but the Seagulls break the pressure. And you can see the Seagulls every time down now, they want to try to work the shot clock, maybe down to 5 or 10 seconds before they take a shot, unless they've got a wide open layup. 6:40 to go in the game. Here's Ryan down low, and she scores, went around Garish to make it 65-41.
Rachel Ryan's done a really good job in the game here for the Seagulls. They kind of use her down low, kind of how we use Garish and Butler.
Ballum really upset where she had the ball knocked out of bounds. It was last touched by the Seagulls. Ballum at least thought it was. And she purposely let the ball go out of bounds, thinking it was going to be last touched by Salisbury, and the referees said it was last touched by her. And so a timeout on the court. We'll keep it right here with 6:24 to go. It's 65-41. Knights fell behind early, 16-3. Trailed at halftime, 38-17. Played a much better third quarter. But again, when you're down by 21 points at halftime, and right now 24 points with 6:24 to go, you really can't allow too many baskets the other way. You need a lot of turnovers by the other team, and you almost have to be letter perfect offensively and defensively, and that's really tough for any team to do.
Yeah. You know, I think the big thing that the Knights take away from this game, if you're looking for something, because you kind of have a rough first half, you look for something to be proud of in this game. You take a look at this third quarter, maybe a little bit at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Knights really got on fire. They were driving down, stealing the ball. You know, it's kind of tough when you have a bad first half that kind of pushes you back.
And they've been able with defense to really get some turnovers, just not enough. And the Seagulls again trying to work that clock with that big lead of 24 points. French with it. Over to Koenig. She'll shoot the jumper. It's no good. Rebound Katie Garish. And here come the Knights down by 24 points. Pass down low to Ballum, and she's fouled. And Brindy Ballum will go to the foul line. Boy, and Ballum and Abby Olson, the Knights really have some good playmakers there. Ballum is a junior. Olson's a freshman. You got a lot of good athletes out there with players like Gamby, Alexis Barnes, Brindy Ballum, and Abby Olson. Ballum misses the first foul shot.
The Knights also adding Katie Garish to the roster. Freshman. She's done really good for the Knights this year.
Really has had a good shooting percentage this year. It's just tonight, she's really struggled to get the ball to the basket. A lot of her shots have, for some reason or another, just been too strong.
You know, and I think Garish has only been out of the game, I think, once. She's had the most minutes so far here on the court.
Garish actually came into the game averaging field goal percentage-wise 50%, and obviously she was 1 out of 7 at halftime and has really struggled shooting the ball today. 65-42. Barnes got away from a double team, lost control of the ball, and the loose ball's picked up by the Seagulls. She did a great job there, Nash, getting away from a double team, had an easy layup, and then just couldn't control the ball.
You know, and that's one thing the Knights are going to have to work on here in practice.
French dribbled that ball off her hip.
Is getting around those double teams. She did a really good job. Had not necessarily a wide open layup, but she had a very easy shot. It looked to be, and just kind of couldn't control that ball very well.
And unless we have a miracle comeback by the Knights here in the final 5 minutes, they're going to lose their fourth in a row, their third straight conference game at home. They would drop to 2-6 in the conference. Salisbury would go a game ahead of them at 3-5 as Stout fires the jumper, no good. Rebound to Ryan. The Knights will be playing at Frostburg on Wednesday, the first of a 3-game road trip. So having lost this game today, if they go on to lose at Nash, as well as losing to York and CNU in the last 2 home games, that'll force the Knights to really go on that 3-game road trip to Frostburg, Wesley, and Mary Washington, and they're going to have to get some wins.
Yeah, the Knights looking to be sitting tied in 6th place right now with St. Mary's. With this loss, I think they're going to drop down to be tied for 7th.
Yeah, and possibly 8th. The Seagulls were tied with them too, and with this win, they're going to move a game ahead of the Knights. I'm not sure what St. Mary's is doing today, but if they were to win, the Knights would then be in 8th place, trailing Salisbury and St. Mary's by a game. A lot of home games still to come for the Knights. I believe they still have 4 conference home games and 1 non-conference home game, but when you lose at home, that means you really generally have to go back out of the road and get some road victories.
Yeah, the Knights having 3 road games here in a row after this game. One at Frostburg State, one at Wesley, and one at Mary Washington. All those schools, Mary Washington and Frostburg, being ahead of the Knights.
Yeah, they got Frostburg on Wednesday, and then Wesley on Saturday. A Stout steals the ball. Stout trying to go coast to coast for a layup, and she scores to make it 67-49. So now the lead is 18. There's 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the game, though. Seagulls break it the other way. Bryce will pull it up, and they'll run a little clock. And you can see where the Seagulls are going to just keep running clock whenever possible. They pass down low for Ryan, and she scores inside to make it 69-49 as she got away from Garish to put that lead right back up to 20 points. Jumper outside by the Knights, no good. Rebound Ryan. And she gets it off to McDonough. Up court to Grubb. And now the Seagulls will run the clock again. 2:40 to go, 69-49. Seagulls on top by 20. McDonough's going to try a 3. No good. And the rebound goes to the Seagulls, and they get a fresh shot clock.
You know, it looks like the Knights are kind of just wearing out right now, not really going too hard for balls. Garish right there doing a good job of getting that ball, though.
Gets it over to Stout, ahead to Ballum. Layup is no good. It rolled off the rim. Tough miss there for Brindy Ballum. Now the Seagulls running some more clock with 2 minutes to go in the game. Jumper by Bryce. Thought about taking it. Did not take the shot. Now she gets it down low for off the glass shot. No good. And Ryan grabs the rebound momentarily. It's pulled away instead by Alexis Barnes. Pass inside to Garish, and she couldn't handle it, but the loose ball's picked up by Ballum. She tried to mistakenly give it back to Garish, who really wasn't ready for that pass. And instead it's Seagulls basketball with 92 seconds to go. Timeout is taken on the court. Might be a good timeout, as you mentioned, for both teams, just to kind of catch their breath.
Yeah, look, really the Knights playing that full court press on the Seagulls, just, you know, getting the double teams, leaving some of the Seagulls players open down the court, so open for those big passes, and then it's kind of Garish against 2 Seagulls.
Well, the Knights have played much better offensively here in the second half. They had 17 points at halftime, so they got 32 in the second half. Salisbury had 38 at halftime, 31 in the second half. And the Seagulls are working the clock right now, as they're going to go to 8-7 on the season overall and 3-5 in the conference. Foul called inside on Southern Virginia. Looks like Suava will pick up that one.
Yeah, I think if you're Coach Roberts in this situation, you just kind of put in all your reserves here for the last minute of the game.
French is fouled. Ball pops loose. Picked up by the Knights. 68 seconds to go. Drive by Muse, and she is fouled. Well, in the men's contest coming up, as we mentioned, it's going to be a tough one for Southern Virginia. They'll be facing a Salisbury team that's got a pretty good record overall. And the Knights men's team, pretty much in the same boat as the women's team. They were in 7th place. They were 2 games out of 6th place. I don't know if this is a do-or-die must-win game against Salisbury, but it's another home game for the Knights. And as a result, I know Coach Tony Caputo would really like to get the win today. As the Knights miss those foul shots, Gamby with the rebound. She can't hit. Tui Severa pulls down the rebound. Gamby puts it on the floor. So it's going to be an extremely important game, we'll say that, for the men's team for Southern Virginia. (69-52) the score now. 17-point game with 46 seconds to go. They'll push the clock back to 48.
Yeah, as we talked about the men's team, the men being 4-3 at home, though, having a good home record. Hopefully that can stick here coming against a tough Salisbury men's team.
If they can win, they would pull a little closer to the top 6 and be right in the race to try to make the postseason conference tournament. If they lose, though, they would fall to 2-6 in the conference. The Knights men's team would, and it would be still a lot of games left in the second half of the conference schedule, but they would really need to have to win a lot of road games, pretty much like the Knights women's team is going to be in this boat after losing 3 straight at home. They're going to have to really go on the road in their upcoming 3-game road stand and at least win 1 and maybe win 2.
Yeah, men counting tonight's game, 5 more home games. So really going to need to look to get work done on the road as well as tonight, hopefully.
1 out of 2 foul shots for Salisbury. Just 25 seconds to go in the game. Gamby will fire the jumper, left it short. 70-52. French picks up the loose ball with 13 seconds to go. And the clock will wind down as the Knights are going to end up losing this game by 18 points. 70-52.
It was a good game there by the Knights. Really having a good third quarter. I think if you look back on the game, that's really what the highlight of the game is, that third quarter. Doing a really good job of getting a lot of points and also not having a bunch of turnovers like we did in the first half.
Yeah, they actually outscored Salisbury in the second half, 35-32. But again, just a really tough first and second quarter where the Knights only scored 17 points in the first half. And so they were down by 21 at halftime and really just never could come all the way back.
Yeah, that looks to be just the first meeting of the Salisbury-Southern Virginia matchup. They'll be playing Salisbury again on the 17th of February. Hopefully they can take this learning experience and see that they can outscore this team, that hopefully they can have a better game against them later in the season.
And so the Seagulls are now 3-5 in the conference, and they are 8-7 on the season. The Knights dropped 2-6 in the conference, 8-6 overall. And when you look ahead to the future schedule, Nash, for the Knights, for the women's team, again, they go to Frostburg on Wednesday. Then they've got Wesley and Mary Washington on the road. So they really have a chance, obviously, with these road games coming up to try to pick up some wins, to try to get back into the race for the final 6 for the Capital Conference postseason tournament.
Yeah, these next 3 games are really going to be important, all being conference games, and then coming back on with a non-conference game at home with Trinity. But as we've been saying, these next 3 games are super important here for the Knights.
So a tough one today here for the Knights as they fall to Salisbury in women's college basketball action. Final score again, it was Salisbury 70 and Southern Virginia 52. Don't forget, in about 25 minutes, we'll have the men's contest for you as the Southern Virginia University Knights take on the Salisbury Seagulls in men's college basketball in about 25 minutes. So make sure you join us for that. Final score again in women's college basketball action. It was Salisbury 70 and Southern Virginia 52. Thanks again for joining us, everyone, for Knights women's basketball here from the Knights Sports Arena.